I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like.
You're watching Poindexter Lounge. You already know. You're watching Poindexter Lounge for the unity.
Why don't you set aside an hour or two? We'll have a few drinks and a cup of coffee I don't drink.
Hey, you're watching Poindexter.
You are watching Poindexter Lounge.
Hi, you're watching Poindexter Lounge. I'm choking on chicken.
You are watching Poindexter. Thanks for the lights, Jay. Roger, Rose, and Call of Duty. I smell like onions and you're watching Poindexter.
And now I'll make the point better. This joint's clever. In the lounge with Poindexter. So Poindexter Lounge, you know that we can get it in. And now I'm headed up like I'm Led Zeppelin.
Hi, you're watching Poindexter Lounge. Do you like nerd stuff? Yeah? Then you'll love this. You never know what might happen or who might show up at the lounge.
I just want to thank you for being here and being my friend. It's always good to have someone you could count on. And I'm glad you're that for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Rainbow!
Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
What's up, nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. My name is Enosh, aka Enosh Fett, and it's good to have you all with me in the lounge tonight. Now, look, if this is your first time to the lounge, just know the Poindexter Lounge is a place for nerds. It's a place where you and me and my crew can get together and talk about all the things that we love. Things like TV shows, movies, games, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, superheroes, toys, and so much more. And if those are things that get you excited, if those are things that get you staying up late or getting up early or just enjoying us throughout the day, no matter where you are in the world, then hey, please hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell. And if you've been around for a while, just check and make sure that you're still subscribed, right? It's a cool thing to do. All right. So, hey, do that and join us. We'd love to have you here, and we'd love to have you in on the conversation and discussing these things, because that's really what this is all about, right? This is about us coming together and really just having some good discussions and talking about stuff in pop culture and entertainment. And I always welcome the opportunity to meet new people, right? To have new insights on things and to get new people's opinions about things going on in pop culture. And so we would love to have you guys here. The chat is awesome. We have one of the best, I got to say, like, hands down, I love our community here. I love what you guys do and how you guys treat each other. It's absolutely fantastic. And so very, very thankful for all of you. So yeah. So if you haven't already, please do that. All right, come and join us. Also, thank you to all of our patrons right off the bat. We want to thank you guys all for your support and your love and your time and your efforts and yes, even your finances. When you guys bless us that way, we're very, very thankful. We never expect anybody to give anything, but when you do, it's much appreciated for sure. And of course, everyone who gives super chats, thank you guys so much. You guys keep things going around here, and we're very, very thankful for that, because you know what? You guys are awesome. And so thank you guys so much for your support. And then, of course, also, we also thank all of, are you ready? The number just keeps growing. We're up over 60 now. The members, here they are. Look at them. I was a little late. I have to apologize tonight for being a little late, but I had to adjust this. I had to adjust this and make sure that it was correct. And once I got into it, I realized, like, you get all these names and I had to get them in the right order. And so yes, we have over 60 members now. And man, we're just blowing right through this, man. We just appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for being here and for being members. We really, really appreciate that. So yeah, you guys are awesome. So, all right. Whoops. Accidentally hit the button twice. We'll show them twice. Let that beautiful bean footage roll once again. Look at these people. Aren't they awesome? Oh, look at those names. See some of those names, and it brings a smile to my face for sure. All right. Anyways, so thank you guys so much for being here tonight. Like I said, sorry I was a little late. I was on with our good friend Austin over at Pop Culture Corner. We were talking about scary movies and supernatural movies, stuff like that. And there may have been an appearance by me as Freddy Krueger. Just saying. I had the glove out and everything. You know, I was doing the thing that needed to be done. It's that time of year, folks. And we're glad you're here on the late shift. Overnight, we're keeping you awake. Yeah. So that being said, I do want to say we gave away our Long Halloween book last night. So today starts a new giveaway, which is this bad boy right here. Superman, black suit Superman. Look at that artwork. So we're talking about Superman tonight. And we're talking about this Superman, in fact. So Superman, Black Suit Superman from McFarlane Toys. Somebody's going to get this. We're going to get this away in the next week or so. And all you got to do to be in the running for that is, of course, be a member, be a patron, or give a super chat, or you can give any other way. We do have a PayPal. We've got a Cash App. All those links are in the description below of our videos. And so, yeah, anything that you do, you are in the running for this guy right here. And it's a great looking figure. It really is a great looking figure. I mean, you got to love this figure. It's a beautiful thing. It's a thing of beauty. I don't understand why people don't like the black suit sometimes. Because, I mean, the black suit's just, it's beautiful. Look, I love the classic suit. We'll always love the classic suit. But that black suit is special. Also, follow us on social media. All those links are in the description below as well. And let's get going. Let's say hi to some people in the chat. What's going on, Geek Studio? Anthony Beltre is here. Good to see you. Says, hello, Enosh. Uncharted trailer was okay. I still need to see more. And Kevin Feige wanted Andrew Spider-Man. Amy Pascal said no. Terrible decision. We're gonna read something today that might not quite go along with that. I don't know. Let's see. Gary Lee Fowler is here. What's going on? Greetings, says Gary. Jacob is here. And by the way, Gary, you won last night. If you're still here, buddy, I know we're a little late, so hopefully you didn't go away. You won the Batman Long Halloween. So get with me, buddy, and let's get that to you. Okay. Jacob McKenzie's here, says, what up, Enosh? Brendan Fraser is having his biggest comeback in his career in 2021, and Amy Pascal crying for Spider-Man is stupid. Feige wanted Andrew Spider-Man. Well, we're gonna talk about this. AG Zeno, what's going on? Zeno says, evening, Enosh. Evening to you. Antonio is here. Nerd Cosa Nostra is here, says, what up, Enosh? And all those in the chat. Let's have a good feed tonight for sure. What's up, Thomas Bartholdi? Says, personally, I feel that Henry was great in Man of Steel, but really, to me, in the Snyder version of Justice League, he really performed as the character. Absolutely. And hello, everyone. What's up? What in the world? That just totally jumped like down to the bottom of the thing. What's up, Giovanni? Good to see you. Protoss X, good to see you. Anthony Grigsby, always good to see you, my friend. Let me know when you get your shirt, man. What's going on? Andrew Casali. Yo, Enosh, Spider-Man talk, and I'm just no Toby trash. We ain't even talking about Toby tonight. We're not talking about Toby. We're not talking about Andrew. We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about Amy Pascal's reaction when Feige told her this just isn't working, and we're gonna have to. You need to let it go, and you need to let us take it. That's what we're talking about tonight. What's up? Paul Smith says, what's up, Enosh? Hope you're good. I am good. Hello to everyone in the chat. Let's see who else is here. Cherie is here. Cherie. Da ba da da ba da da ba da da. Cherie. What's up, Blake Taylor? Says that was interesting. You like the Megamind one? Yeah, just trying to mix it up a little bit. What's up, Caden? Good to see you again, Caden. What's up? Party people in the house. Bradley is in the house. Says, hi, Enosh and chat. Let's see who else is here. Spherical Man is here. Superhero Ground Slide. Made in time. What's up, Austin? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you here, man. Spent some time with Austin tonight, and that was fun. Over there supporting Austin. Go support Austin, what he's doing. He's got a new channel up and running. Go support him over there. Let's see. Jared is here. What's going on, bro? TX Voodoo. Good to see you, man. Let's see here. Cherie says, Enosh, I hope you had a great day today. Loved the early nerd encouragement today. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed that. I was up and about today and trying to get some stuff done and, doing the stuff, And so, now we'll need to do a 60 membership celebration instead. We blew right past 50. So that's good. Let's see. Who else is here? Any other names before we move on tonight? DC Talk with Extended. Always good to see you, man. Always good to see you, bro. So many great names. So many good people here. Very, very thankful for all of you guys, for sure. Comic Book Fan 89. What's going on? Says hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Hashtag make the Batfleck movie. Yes. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Come on. Let's just get it done. Let's get it done. Let's stop putting it off. Let's just get to it. All right. So, unless anybody pops in, it's just me tonight. You just got me. So you're going to have me full screen and right here in front of you for the whole time. So, which is probably okay because I got quite a rant that I'm about to go on because I am just going to be honest with you. I'm a little frustrated with this thing of writers, these people who write for, these different magazines or different online outlets and stuff, the trades and stuff. And look, to me, if you're going to be a writer, you need to know the facts. You need to not, and I get it. Maybe I'm coming from a different time, a different era of time, right? Call me the Clark Kent of online reporting. But I figure that if you're going to report something, that you should report the truth, right? That you shouldn't try to put your own little spin on it and make it something that it's not, whatever, like I'm even fine like with a headline that draws you in, right? I'm fine with the headline. But once you get into that article, like, because headlines are important. I get it. Headlines are, one of those things that like, you got to stand apart and you got to kind of, get yourself out there. So I get it. I get it. But once we get into your article, I don't want to see, if I'm reading your article, I don't want to see some weird take on something. I don't want to see some fanboy thing that you as a journalist locked onto and you're perpetuating a lie or perpetuating an idea. And listen, you all know that I support Zack Snyder's vision. I enjoy that. That's what I enjoy. But I also enjoy other visions and other versions of the DC characters, right? I mean, I like it all. I like the light stuff. I like the dark stuff. I like everything in between, right? Like it's like a bucket of chicken for me. Like I'm not going to turn anything away, right? I'm going to, if it's part of the chicken, if it's in the bucket, I'm going to eat it. I don't care if it's a leg, if it's a thigh, if it's a breast, if it's a wing, I want it, right? And but these articles are just getting, yes, Antonio, you're absolutely right, right? These articles these days are just more opinion pieces than anything else. It's their opinion pieces disguised as journalism. Disguised. Look, there's always a place for opinion pieces. I want to make that clear. There's always a place for opinion pieces. Opinion pieces are needed, right? Because people can speak their mind, and that's great. But if you're going to do an opinion piece, make sure people know it's an opinion piece and don't state it as fact. Paul says I'm a leg and thigh man myself. I got my own opinions. Yes, Blake, it's a rant. It's rant time. Are you ready? Yes, Protoss, it's rant time. So I came across this article, and I noticed a couple of my friends sharing it today because I made some people aware of it yesterday. I almost did this last night. Glad I didn't because we went for quite a while. But by the way, if you missed it last night, we had a great Star Wars debate. Me and William and DL and even Brian. Brian was Brian was done. He was spent by the time it was done, but it was still good. It was still good. But we talked about like what Star Wars should be and what direction it should go. So it was really good. And like I said, that's the last part of last night's show if you missed it. All right. So, oh, you're welcome, Cherie. You're welcome. Okay. This article from Comic Book Resource. Titled, Superman, Son of Kal-El fixes Zack Snyder's biggest Man of Steel criticism. Does it, though? Does it really fix this supposed criticism that people have of Zack Snyder's work? Let's see. What exactly is he talking about? The Superman Son of Kal-El number 4 shows a striking contrast between They always try to shut me up. They always try to shut me up. Right when I get started, they always try to shut me up. But you can't stop me. All right. So again, Superman Son of Kal-El number 4 shows a striking contrast between John Kent and Zack Snyder's Man of Steel film. It says, warning, the following contains spoilers for Superman Son of Kal-El number 4, on sale now from DC Comics. So if you're planning on reading that, it's there. Yep, Anthony, it's only me tonight. Nerd yelling at the ceiling time. I know. Just every time I start to say something serious, it seems, it's like they get to me, right? But okay. It says, in the eyes of many fans, Zack Snyder's Superman, as played by Henry Cavill, didn't start off on the right foot in the DC Extended Universe. I'll give you that. There's a lot of people who don't appreciate that Superman. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I never will. As a lifelong Superman fan, I will never understand people's disliking Henry Cavill. I've read Superman too long and loved Superman too long to ever understand why somebody would not. I mean, who are these fans? Who are these people? I've met a few, but it always boggles me. It says it took a while for him to come into his own, moving from the violent rookie hero depicted in Man of Steel. Violent rookie hero. He's just violent. Just violent, guys. It starts right off, I swear. Right, Antonio? Huh? Yeah. What? Yeah, violent. He was just violent. It's funny, the only person I ever remember him being violent with was Zod. You know, the villain who was literally trying to terraform the entire planet with a whole army of Kryptonians who had the same powers as Superman. Was Christopher Reeve violent when he crushed Zod's hand after he had taken away his superpowers in Superman 2? Or threw him into an ice shelf? Was that Superman violent when he went back to the diner where he had been beaten to a pulp, where Clark Kent had been beaten to a pulp by the trucker, and picked the trucker up, spun him around, put him on the counter, threw him down into a pinball machine. Oh, that's not violent, Enosh. That's comical. Okay, let me pick you up and throw you into a pinball machine, and you tell me how violent that is. I'm sick of this. I am sick of this narrative. This narrative that somehow Henry Cavill's Superman was just so bad and violent and bad and evil. Yeah, the mashed potato man. Those poor pancakes. Yep. It's amazing. He wasn't violent. Yeah, he wasn't violent to the military. The military recognized him for who he was. They spent all that time beating up those poor defenseless Kryptonians who were leveling Smallville and destroying Metropolis. And not just Metropolis, but leveling the entire planet and terraforming it to kill literally every last human being on the planet. But he's a young, rookie, violent hero. And then they got to throw this in. To the more compassionate hero he evolved into in Justice League. And you know that they're talking about Justice League here. They're not talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League. They're talking about Justice League because we get to see him talk about playing with hippos and trying to find car keys in Justice League. Because he's a real fan of justice and he's a real fan of, truth as well, or truth and justice. Some fans thought that Cavill's Superman was too cold and detached while cutting his teeth, especially in comparison to Captain America and many of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's heroes. You know, I saw an interesting TikTok and I downloaded it. It was a comedy sketch, but and I wouldn't show it here just because even though it's comedy, I wouldn't want anybody to think that like I condone what it's saying. I mean, it's a comedy sketch, right? And so like I thought it was funny, but it literally is what it. Yeah, sure. He's so violent he let the police handcuff him and be led away peacefully. But it depicts Captain America coming to in our world, right? What world did Captain America come from? Right? World War II. Back in the 40s, late 30s, early 40s is when Steve Rogers would have grown up, right? And it talked about like all the different, like he comes to and he sees a person of color in a doctor's coat, and he tells that person of color to go get him a cup of coffee because he doesn't recognize the person of color as somebody who could possibly be a scientist as well. He sees a Korean soldier and warns the doctor who's working with him that he thinks it might be a spy because he sees all people of Asian descent as the same. He then sees a woman who starts talking back to him and telling him that no, these things are wrong, and tells him that we have a black president, because this was during apparently the Obama administration, tells him that we have a black president, and this Captain America literally slaps the woman and tells her to be quiet. Now I know we want to think that our Captain America would be woke and and all these good things, but given the world that he grew up in, he would have probably had a much different view than what's depicted in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And those things are never addressed, right? He just adapts easily to our world, to some better issues, especially when it comes to equality. Well, and you're right, Merville. Captain America was way more violent in Winter Soldier, and even in Captain America, I mean, he's literally out there fighting a war. But it's cool. He ain't violent. Right? Yeah, no, he never did that to Peggy. She always talked back, but also Peggy was the woman that he loved. This other woman is depicted as something else. The point just being is that this idea that Henry Cavill's Superman is just so cold and detached. And especially it says in comparison to Captain America and many of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's heroes, they've got it all together, man. They just have a happy demeanor, and they're so happy and proud to be superheroes and automatically just walk right into it. That's one of my problems with that universe. Is everybody just ends up being depicted as just happy all the time. No challenges. And even the challenges they do face are a lot of times just kind of brushed away. But it says, but now, as Superman, son of Kal-El, anoints a new Superman, the new comic book version of DC's greatest hero once again answers Snyder's biggest criticism. In Man of Steel, Kal-El really didn't know much about being a virtuous hero and public figure, as he was far removed from his heritage and identity. In fact, he didn't seem to want to be a savior, which culminated in people bashing him for destroying Metropolis in his battle against Zod and then snapping his neck. For the last time, for God's sake, for the last time, Superman did not destroy Metropolis. What is wrong with these people? What is wrong with these people? Superman did not destroy Metropolis in Man of Steel. He was protecting Metropolis from a villain that was hell-bent on destroying not just the city, but the planet, and was not going to ever walk away from Metropolis. The world engine was in Metropolis. Zod was not going to. Zod is a general. Zod is a military man. He was not going to be distracted, to be taken away to some far-off place that Superman could fight him. Make no mistake about it. Superman did not destroy Metropolis. The city absolutely got messed up because guess what? Collateral damage happens. Read any Superman book. You know how many times Metropolis has been messed up and like literally destroyed in the comics? So many. Watch everyone's favorite. Like every time somebody complains, like, oh, well, I wish that he could have been like Superman in the animated series or Superman in Justice League Unlimited. That's exactly what you see. Do you know how many buildings get destroyed in Metropolis during the time between for Superman the animated series and the Justice League cartoons? Like literally every time a villain comes to Metropolis, he throws Superman through a building or Superman throws him through a building. Yet nobody complains about that. What about the thousands of people who died in Avengers? Nobody complains about that. Nobody blames the Avengers for having to fight villains and aliens there in the city. But for some reason, Superman, being one guy, was supposed to distract everybody, take them away, wake up one day with a spit curl in his hair, with a clean costume, and just go out and be the hero that we all know and love. Without any learning, without any reason. Just do it. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of fans promoting this kind of mentality. I'm also sick of people who are supposedly writers and journalists writing this kind of nonsense when it's just not the case. This is not what happened in this movie. How? How did these people get away with this crap? Why is it no one calls? I mean, and of course, anytime somebody does, it's just, oh, you're just a Snyder cultist. You're just a Snyder fan. You don't care about this. Exactly, Bradley. Almost 10 years later. Almost 10 years later. Antonio, you're right. And I don't even want to make this a Marvel versus DC thing because it shouldn't have to be. But you're right. Marvel characters kill people all the time. Nobody calls them on the carpet for it. This isn't even a Marvel versus DC thing. This is simply stop treating Man of Steel's Superman like this. Stop treating Henry Cavill's Superman like this. Stop changing the narrative of what this character is or was in the movie. Oh, I know, Rel. Rel here says, I've even come across people saying Cavill's Superman is similar to Homelander. That's how crazy some of these haters are. It's insane. How do you sit down to write something and write this? In fact, he didn't seem to want to be a savior. Okay. Which culminated in people bashing him for destroying Metropolis in his battle against Zod and then snapping his neck. Now, look at this picture right here. Take a good, hard look at this picture right here. Remember Batman v Superman? Which, by the way, real quick, I forgot to share this, so I need to share this real quick. If you are anywhere near the Detroit area, then you need to join us at this right here. Zack Snyder's Justice League in Detroit. November 21st. If you're anywhere near Detroit, you need to join us here for this. This is going to be so much fun. We are going to watch Justice League on the big screen. Zack Snyder's Justice League. All of it. All of it. On the big screen. Tickets are going on sale. They are $60 a piece. Now you're asking, like, well, what, $60? Well, but all of that money is going to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention here in Michigan. And so this is going to be awesome. These are the same people who put on when we went to go see BVS Comes Home. And we went to that and saw BVS, the Ultimate Edition on the big screen. And so it's going to be in Birmingham at the Birmingham 8 Theater on November 21st, Sunday, November 21st from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's going to be a great time. All information is there. I will go ahead and put this right now in the chat. Detroit. So here is the website. If you need information, there it is. And if you can, join us. Join us. We're going to have a great time. We really are going to have a great time. It's going to be a lot of fun. So many people. I will be there. Yes, Tiffany and I will be there. We figured out a way to get there. So thank you. And yes, we will be there. So, yeah. So if you guys can make it out, love to meet you. Love to say hi. But yeah, for sure. If you can make it out, we're going to be there. All right. So that's that. Back to this. This picture right here from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Could somebody tell me in the chat what was going on here? What your interpretation of this picture was? This moment in the movie where Superman literally went flying off, like he was at the art center there, the gala, and tracking down Bruce Wayne, and he saw that there were people hurting, that there were people dying, that there was somebody who was trapped. Aaron, I love it. Cavill Superman is a kind and warm, loving Superman. I agree. Superman literally sees it on TV and rushes down to where this is. But what was this moment? Was this a moment of Superman showing ego or thinking that he was better than the people he was there to save? Literally, he just flew down there to save them. I mean, he must surely be detached from this and just be looking beyond everybody, just really not caring about them, right? Let's read on. Things got worse in Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, where a more experienced Kal-El was said to still display a lack of a personal touch. He came off as an aloof and almost godlike figure, as evidenced by the scene in which people he rescued surround him and attempt to touch him. Mind you, this is as evidenced. Okay, this is not just, hey, people said this about him. Now it's as evidenced by this scene that we just looked at here, the picture of, by this scene in which people he rescued surrounded him in an attempt to touch him while he seems to have no further interest in them. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's what these people get out of this scene. That Superman went down to save people wherever this was. And after he saved them, as people reach out to him, he has no other interest in them. No, he felt uncomfortable with the way people were looking at him like a god, like this higher being. That's the whole point of it. That's the whole. How do you miss that point? I don't know how people miss that point. The whole point is that not that he felt that he was better than them or godlike or not interested in them. He was absolutely interested in them. But he was concerned with the way that they were reaching out to him because he didn't see himself as a godlike being, as being this way. It says, and then they go on. It says, even when he rescued flood victims in the film. Remember when he rescued the flood victims? That was a moment where they were showing him that he was coming down to help because the narrative was going on behind of people and scientists and different people talking about, should there be a Superman? Oh, but there is a Superman. So if he's going to be there, what does he do? Like, what is his place? And that's the whole point, is that Clark is trying to find his place in this world. But it says, oh, when he went to rescue the flood victims, remember them up on top of their houses. It says he hovered over them, again giving an ethereal appearance as people reached out to him. Scenes like these ran against the essence of what made the Man of Steel such a great and iconic DC hero in the eyes of many fans. It was not until Justice League that Superman even smiles and began to act in a way that is not completely alien. What's up, Stella? Good to see you, Stella. It says, remember, narcissists protect their own thoughts and feelings onto and project their own feelings onto others. Yeah, why this writer's try to pick a fight with fictional characters is disturbing. Yeah. Good to see you, Stella. We've missed you. I don't know how in the world you watch this movie how does anybody watch these movies and come away with that somehow this flies in the face of what made the Man of Steel like the iconic DC hero that he is. And it wasn't until Justice League that Superman even smiles. Well, let's take a look at that, shall we? Hmm. That looks like a lot of smiling going on. And that's just that. Look at all, yes, Goober, right? Look at these angry faces Superman's making. So angry, just hovering above everyone. Yep. Morons. Everywhere, morons. Like folks, I don't understand. I'm literally at a loss. Like, I don't get how in the world people even consider this or think that this Superman is what they've made him to be. You know? I mean, it's disturbing. It's disturbing that they completely ignore who Superman is here. That they completely ignore everything that was set up in these films. And those are fake smiles. He was gentle with people. He was heroic. When he had to be, he was serious. He was trying to, yes, there were many times where like he had to control his anger. Like when a guy's pouring a beer over his head, instead of throwing that guy through a pinball machine, he goes outside and messes up the truck. Because he's a young guy and he's dealing with this and he's trying to deal with some of that anger. Yes. So I won't say that he has no anger. But he was dealing with it. He didn't throw the guy through a pinball machine or spin him around or crush his hand. It just shows a lack of paying attention. It really does. It shows a lack of paying attention to what these films actually are. And it's sad. And you know what? And I guess, yeah, I'm a little mad, but I'm also like, I feel sorry for them because it's pathetic. Then to say it wasn't until Justice League that Superman even smiles. Can we get off this idea that Justice League was any good? Like, I get it. When I first saw it, yeah, you know what? It was what it was, right? We thought that was all we were going to get. That was all we were going to get. And so, you know, we tried to make the best of it and try to do what we could. But after a minute, you realize, something's not right here. Stella says it's too easy to feed hate and negativity that promote positivity with hope. Then promote positivity with hope. Been learning about the Facebook papers. This negativity and hate has to stop. This is fiction. Why pick apart this movie? They're just angry. They're angry. It's the same people who were angry over Batman in this movie, in Batman v Superman, being all right with using lethal force. Yet they absolutely ignore this.
Previously on Batman Returns, Batman was walking around with a bomb, pissed. Big Nasty showed up. Hey, Batman, I heard you don't be killing people. He heard wrong.
Hunter, I don't think I saw your question. I don't think I see a question. You mean this comment here? They hate everything because about Superman because he repeatedly the American way. Now, you know, we talked about that because, you know, they just changed that slogan, right? They made a big deal about changing the slogan to truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. And you know what? I'm actually fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm also fine with truth, justice, and the American way because as a longtime Superman fan, I know that Superman, with that slogan, truth, justice, and the American way, I get it. There are people who outside of our country, there's people inside our country actually, who may have a major problem with that because of what some of that has come to represent, right? Because there are some people who think that the American way is to treat others with disdain, to not allow people to have the same God-given rights that we're all supposed to be given, as our Constitution talks about it, as our founding documents talk about, that are given to us by our Creator, right? And so there's people who would want to stop that, right? That's their idea of the American way. But that was never Superman's version of the American way. The American way to him meant and talked about the fact that, like, people were accepted. People were treated right. People were loved. People were welcomed in. That idea of bring me your hurt, your downcast, like all those. Superman understood that. Now I get it. Stella, I get it. The USA, in some respects, has a bad reputation, but I'm an American. Okay. And I know many, the majority of Americans are not these bad people, right? There are bad people, but there are bad people everywhere, but I do get it. I do understand it. I don't act. I would never say that I don't understand, the backlash to what that can be. But Superman has definitely become more of a world hero, especially over the last decade or so, right? And so I think to say truth, justice, and a better tomorrow is fine, right? It doesn't just have to be about Americans, right? When the character was started, I mean, it was started as, this American hero, kind of like, a Captain America. It is kind of interesting though that, and go with me here, because it's interesting how the Captain America character, instead of running away from that title, they've embraced it, but they've made it so that Captain America is fighting for the right things. And that's all I notice about that, right? Is that Marvel, I think, has done a good job. Like, there's some who would have said that Captain America, a character like Captain America, could never have been as popular in the world that we're in, and yet Captain America is very much respected. Just reading some of these comments here. Yep. So let's go back to this. So basically, he doesn't even begin to smile until Justice League. This is conversely, in the first 4 issues of the new Superman Son of Kal-El comic by Tom Taylor, John Timms, Daniel, all these people, John Kent is quite the opposite. He's quite the opposite, as he saves post-humans like a fire starter and the quake-causing fault line. John displays a much more caring attitude towards the people he saves. He even hugs the fire starter, cradling them securely in his arms. Okay. Yeah, Superman was just so angry. Just hated everybody. But Jonathan Kent, just because he does the right thing, you got to compare him somehow to Man of Steel, to the movie from 2013, and somehow use a character now to somehow judge a character that was in a movie then. All right. If it makes you feel better. Yeah, if it makes you feel better, go for it. Do your thing. It's not real. It's not justifiable. It's not truth. But if it makes you sleep better at night, I guess you do you. says, thus far, the new Superman has faced his challenges with a refreshing amount of humanity. Taking time to save animals from a falling building in Coast City and having positive interactions with the people he saves. Superman had a lot of positive interactions with people that he saved. It says, his care and compassion was further spotlighted when he rescues Gamoran refugees and refuses to simply leave them to the authorities. This Superman shows love for the people he saves, even allowing himself to be arrested while actively participating in a protest. Oh, you mean like, I don't know, maybe what happened in Man of Steel where he allowed himself to be arrested? Where he submitted to the American government in Batman v Superman, coming in to testify, literally crying because because of the tragedy that happened around him and the people that died around him that he couldn't save because he didn't recognize it, because Lex Luthor was smart and pulled a fast one. And this Lex Luthor doesn't just come up with crazy schemes like, I'm gonna, change, the president's hair color to blue. No, he's not going to do something stupid. He's literally going to try to kill everybody at the Capitol building and make Superman have to sit there in the middle of it. So it says he doesn't appear to have the ego generally associated with Snyder's Superman, and he comes across as less of a Man of Steel than a true man of tomorrow. This Superman has had a heart from the start, and he is not afraid to let it show. The ego. Show me a scene. Show me any scene in Batman v Superman, Man of Steel, Zack Snyder's Justice League. I defy you to show me a scene where he has this supposed ego. Yep, this almost 10-year-old movie still irritates them. You know why? Because it flies in the face of everything. It still flies in the face of everything, and its culture turned back on them, and they see their own folly. Shree says, this Lex was brutal. Exactly. This is not a Lex that we came across on a yacht where like his scheme was to bed an old woman for a few years so that he could get enough money to somehow put some land scheme together. And Lois comes across him brushing his teeth. And Lois Lane? I defy you to show me where he has some ego. So, reading this, I'm blown away. I'm blown away. And I'm really tired of seeing stupid articles like this, because one person writes one and then all of a sudden, we start seeing other ones, and people kind of jump on that bandwagon. They want to feel important. They want to feel like they're adding to the story somehow. You're not adding to the story. You're not adding to the story. So that's my rant for that, because I'm just still blown away. I'm just still blown away that's where we're at. Here we are in 2021, and people still don't pay attention to films. people still don't pay attention to narratives in films. They literally come up with a narrative and then they just go with it. They just go with it. And look, I can see all of you here tonight. You guys feel the same way. Like exactly, Cherie says, I'm just tired of stupid in general. It's just, I don't know. I agree. Smallville Lex is deep and complex. Like, those are two great Lex Luthers. Look, I'll be the first one to admit, when I first saw that, when I first saw the look of Lex Luthor in BVS and everything, I was like, oh boy, I don't know. But man, did it grow on me, because it's exactly who Lex Luthor is. Exactly. And it was such a great Lex Luthor. Yeah, and like, why complain about Superman? Why complain about Zack Snyder's Superman this far removed? Just because you can. Just because you can. So there's that. I just wanted to share that with you guys and see what you guys thought of that, because it's just, you know, I would hope for better from people, to be quite honest with you. I would hope for better. And look, if you're a journalist, if you're watching this, do better. Do better. Write better articles. If you're going to write an opinion piece, make sure people know it's an opinion piece, and don't try to pull it off as fact, because it's not fact. All right. So moving right along. That's my take on that. All right. Something else, real quick. Let's see. Where shall we go? Let's talk about Spider-Man. This was an interesting thing that came up. Sony exec Amy Pascal reportedly started crying when Marvel president Kevin Feige torpedoed plans for the Amazing Spider-Man 3. This is interesting. Yes, I know this is bounding into comics. So before you say anything, I know this is bounding into comics. But this is actually taken from other sources. This is just the best that I saw it, like, actually laid out. So that's why I went with this one, because the story was still here. Okay. But here's a story of this. It says, according to a new book, because this is from a book. This is not just bounding into comics, just like, making stuff up, right? So it's according to a new book, former Sony exec Amy Pascal was so devastated that her studio could not move forward with The Amazing Spider-Man 3 that she started crying when Marvel president Kevin Feige told her of his plans to take the web slinger in a new direction. It's a cool picture, by the way, of Spider-Man. But says, as recalled by the two execs to veteran media companion book authors Tara Bennett, Paul Terry, in their new book, The Story of Marvel Studios, The Making of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and transcribed by The Direct, Pascal's emotional moment occurred during a meeting held to discuss Spider-Man's cinematic future. The book begins with a good sense of how they would like to handle the character. Feige was ready for his lunch with Pascal. What he wasn't ready for was Pascal's reaction to his proposal. Yeah. So I know there's a lot of talk of, that she wanted to move in a different direction, that he wanted Andrew. But check this out. So they're going to have lunch. It says, it continues, the meeting was in her office at Sony. And I just picture yourself there for this. The meeting was at her office at Sony. As expected, Pascal wasted no time in expressing her strong desire to have Feige be more directly involved. Of course she wanted Feige involved. I mean, it was the MCU. Creatively, in the making of Sony Pictures' The Amazing Spider-Man 3. Excited about the ideas her team currently had, Pascal said that she would send Feige the latest draft. However, Feige wasn't as enthused as the book details. About halfway through the delicious sandwich that she had brought in, I said, Amy, in all fairness, it's not going to work, shares Feige. Now, RJ, I don't think is watching, but if RJ was watching, I've been saying this the last couple of weeks. Feige, I think, is very straightforward. I think Feige is very direct to the point. He probably comes off as a jerk sometimes to people because he knows what he wants. He knows how to get what he wants, and he's not going to take it any other way. He's not going to just be like chill with everything, right? So he told her just flat out. Yeah, that's, in all fairness, Amy, it's not going to work. Says Feige then proposed Marvel Studios doing the next Spider-Man movie. Imagine that, why don't you just let me take the kid? I know we share joint custody of the kid right now, but let me, you know what, hun? Let me just take the kid. Let me take custody of the kid, and we'll work on this together. It says we've sort of done that before, and I think I'm particularly helpful there. But Feige wasn't done. He had a counter proposal. The only way I know how to do anything is to just do it entirely. So why don't you just let us do it? Feige recalled the pitch. Says, don't think of it as two studios. Don't think of it as giving another studio back the rights. I love how he's talking. He just basically talks her into this. So don't think of it as giving don't think of it as giving Marvel back the rights to Spider-Man. Don't think of it as two studios, even though it's completely two studios, completely different things. There's Sony, and then there's Disney, and the two are completely opposite. But don't think of it that way. No change of hands of rights. Don't worry about that. No change of hands of money. Just engage us to produce it. Just pretend it's like what DC did with Christopher Nolan. He added, I'm not saying we're Nolan, but I am saying there's a production company that is doing this pretty well. Just engage the services of that production company to make the movie. PASCAL was taken aback. PASCAL then detailed her reaction. She goes, at first, I was super resentful, she admits. I think I started crying and threw him out of my office, or threw a sandwich at him. I'm not sure which. After her initial reaction, PASCAL then began to actually think about the proposal. Then she started to think it through. By the fifth Spider-Man movie, we weren't giving them anything new. And I have to be honest about it. We were trying so hard to be different. We even went into places to be different that we shouldn't have. We weren't fresh anymore. There's a lot of, there's a lot of logic in that. To be able to get to a point where you're able to admit, we're really not doing anything new here. We're not changing anything. We're not adding anything to the lore, really. We're not making it better. Basically, he talked her into it. Yep, he's very, very straight up. Very, very straight up here. So if he's on Jarbo's stream, you should tell him that we're talking about his buddy. We're talking about Feige. Oh yeah, I know the Amazing Spider-Man 3 plot was not good. So it goes on. The book then relays, PASCAL continues, the lucky thing is Kevin and I come from the same place in terms of how we love Peter. I've been working with Kevin on Spider-Man movies since Sam Raimi's. He would come to the meetings, get everybody coffee, and he never said a word for years, which makes you love somebody because then when they do open their mouth, you realize that they've been thinking all the big thoughts and are really smart, but never had to hear themselves talk, PASCAL stated. The book then states PASCAL called Feige back the next day after their lunch. The concept of a collaboration between Sony and Marvel Studios had not left her mind. After hearing his specific thoughts on what to do with Spider-Man in the MCU, she admits, the idea of putting him up against a world where everybody had everything and he had nothing was a whole new way of telling his story. I thought GD. That guy's smart. Website. It says the rest, as they say, is history. As Marvel fans know that this episode between Pascal and Feige eventually led to Tom Holland's introduction as the wall crawler, in Captain America: Civil War, and his continued appearances throughout the MCU. So Feige pretty much just came in, said, "Hey, you know what? Can't help you out with this one." Yep, just kind of came and said, "Hey, Amy, sorry, I know you own the rights, but come on, just let us do it. Come on, just let us do it. Just give it over to us. We'll take it. We know what to do with it. We've got the thing in place. We've got everything in place to handle this. You know it's going to be good." He's an absolute shark.
What?
I don't know. I mean, this Feige knows what he's doing with these characters, right? He's got a plan. He's had a plan from the beginning, and that sets him apart because he has that plan, right? He's got that plan, and he knows what he wants to do. He knows where he's been. He knows where he's going, and he knows what has to be done. And Amy, I'll be honest with you, in watching Amy and like the stuff that she's done, I just don't think that she has she's nailed that when it comes to Spider-Man. She apparently loves Spider-Man. She's talked a lot about how she loves Spider-Man, and that's great. Andrew, I don't think he's failed on Spider-Man. I think the problem is that he's Spider-Man. Spider-Man is okay, right? Spider-Man's okay. The problem is that they need Spider-Man to do the things that Spider-Man's doing in the bigger scheme of things, which is great. But at the same time, they also need Spider-Man to also be able to be small enough where he can come home and be the neighborhood Spider-Man in his teenage years, right? Like teenage Spider-Man, I don't know, works in the grander scheme of things when you got all these adults running around doing adult things, and it makes him look like a little kid, right? Because that's where he's at in the story right now, which is an interesting story to tell because you get to see that Spider-Man's that Spider-Man story at that point, watching all these other adults move forward and do their thing. But at the same time, it's also interesting to note that it would be interesting to see what an adult Spider-Man would look like with those Avengers, right? More as peers instead of father figures or parental figures of some kind. And that's all I'm saying. I would have liked to have seen that, but man, it just sounds like Feige was just lying in wait. If you like that other one, I love this one too. Feige just lying in wait. Just waiting for it. And even the ones that are just sitting around. Feige gobbling up all the heroes. Gobbling up all of them. Gonna take Spider-Man. Gonna take all the Spider-Man adjacent characters. Bring them all in. I got Venom now. Got Venom. Got everybody. And he's moving in a specific situation. Those are from a movie called Megalodon, I think. Something like that. Megalodon, I think. It's a really cheesy, low budget movie. You can tell, obviously. I remember seeing that. And I found those clips today, and it's like, yes, awesome. So yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Does that help you understand a little bit what I've been saying about Feige lately? Like, yes, Feige knows what he's doing. I respect Feige, but Feige is also like, yeah, RJ, Feige's a jerk. Feige's a jerk. He basically walked into that meeting, ate Amy Pascal's sandwich, and told her, yeah, I know you own the rights and you have full control over this whole thing. But you know what? You're not doing a good job of it. So why don't you just let us take it? Because you're really not a good parent. Look, we'll still pay child support and everything, but look, you're really not a good parent. Just let us take the kid. Let us take the kid. Oh, yes, I've seen Meg. Antonio, in fact, I've interviewed Stephen Alton right here on the channel. If you go under the playlist and go under interviews, you'll find an interview with Stephen Alton right here. Absolutely. Heck yeah, I'm a big shark guy. But yeah, it's just, you can just see he had some ideas. Feige had some ideas going into that. Thank you, Bradley. I'm glad you enjoyed that, the interview. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to be able to talk to him. All right, moving right along. These things work a little bit different when I'm the only one here, isn't it? Brandon Fraser, not Fraser, not Brandon, Brendan Fraser, has had quite a comeback as of late. He's obviously in Doom Patrol, and he's had. Have I seen Sharknado? Oh yes, I love Sharknado. Sharknado is the reason why the Poindexter Lounge is here. It's because of Sharknado 3, actually. Tiffany and I were watching Sharknado 3. We'd always loved watching movie channels and stuff like that, back in the day with AMC Movie News and Collider and all that stuff. And so we were watching Sharknado 3. It was so ridiculous and over the top that Tiffany said, hey, we need to do a review. So we did it. You can still find that review right here on the channel under a tab called Spoiled, because Tiffany and I, for a while, we did this little thing where we talked about movies and we just described them. And that was the first time where we did a video that took us down this route of talking about entertainment and pop culture, like on the channel, because we never set out to be like a channel. That's just what we started doing. And so, yeah, absolutely. I love Sharknado. It's the stupidest thing ever, but it's funny. And DC Talk says, I love the Meg movie. I can't wait for the sequel. It'll be interesting to see where they go with the sequel. Yes, I've seen Bedazzled. Look, Brendan, Brendan has been in a lot of stuff. And he just continues. And yes, Anthony, you're absolutely right. Like Fraser, he's having his biggest comeback. He's definitely making a comeback for sure these last couple of years. And even though he looks completely different than what he looked like when I remember him growing up. Yeah, I mean, you got the Mummy movies. You got just like even the first time I saw him in Encino Man. It's good stuff. So apparently he's going to be in the Batgirl movie. So he's going to play the villain, possibly Firefly. I don't know. Can you guys see him as Firefly, though? Like, I mean, I could see him as a villain, but I don't know if I see him as Firefly. But here, let me know what you guys think as we read this. Brendan Fraser has been cast in DC's upcoming Batgirl movie. He will play the villainous Firefly, a sociopath with a passion for pyrotechnics, opposite star Leslie Grace. Specific plot details for Batgirl have been kept under wraps, though it centers on Barbara Gordon, the daughter of Gotham Police Commissioner Jim Gordon. J.K. Simmons is returning to portray Jim Gordon after first playing the character in Zack Snyder's Justice League. All right. Bad Boys for Life filmmakers Adil El Arbi and Bilal Falal will direct Batgirl for Warner Brothers. Christina Hodson, Bumblebee, The Flash, is writing the screenplay. See how that works. Batgirl is set to premiere on HBO Max, the streaming service backed by Warner Media, sometime in 2022. The project is notable because it marks one of the first major DC Comics properties to skip theaters in favor of streaming. Plus, it's one of the studio's rare comic book adventures following Wonder Woman and its sequel, as well as Margot Robbie's Birds of Prey, to spotlight a female superhero. Batgirl isn't Fraser's first foray into the DC universe. He currently voices a character on the HBO Max superhero TV show Doom Patrol. It does, however, continue as a career resurgence for the George of the Jungle and the Mummy star, who all but disappeared from Hollywood in the mid-2000s. He's since emerged in Steven Soderbergh's crime drama No Sudden Move and Danny Boyle's Trust on FX. Fraser recently landed the lead role in Darren Aronofsky's, Aronofsky, you get tongue-tied there, Aronofsky's next film, The Whale, an adaptation of Samuel D. Hunter's play about 600-pound middle-aged recluse, and he will be seen in Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon alongside Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro. Deadline Hollywood first reported the news of Fraser's casting. So this is interesting. But what do you guys think of him as Firefly? Spherical Man says, Firefly, I see it. He'll probably sound similar to Clifford from Doom Patrol, since Firefly wears a mask, maybe. Anthony Beltre here says, Enosh Stallone was offered Brendan Fraser's part in HBO Max's Batgirl movie, but things didn't work out for him. I like Blast from the Past, too. Antonio says, Fraser is Garfield Lynn. That sounds cool. Yeah, him as Firefly. It's interesting. Yeah, he had some great movies back in the day, for sure. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I hope the best for him, It's good to see him out here. Yeah, Bradley, this is kind of where I'm at. It's not the conventional choice, but I think he could pull it off. The world needs more Brendan Fraser. He seems just like a really nice guy, And look, if you haven't seen Doom Patrol and you start off with season 1, you're going to get quite an eyeful of him. That first scene that he shows up. But other than that, it's all good. And TX Voodoo says, congrats to him. Absolutely, congrats to him. All right. So, yep. So Brendan Fraser cast in Batgirl. Are you guys excited about Batgirl? I'm looking forward to it. Look, I'm looking forward to the fact that they've said Batman's going to be in it. Question is what Batman, but it's got J.K. Simmons, who's only been in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So we can hold out hope that we will once again see Batfleck. And that's what I want. I want to see Batfleck. I want more of him in the role. And so hopefully we'll get that. Now, how many of you guys are Uncharted fans? So I'll be honest with you, I don't play the game. I don't know a lot about this. But everybody was telling me, Enosh, you got to see this thing. It's amazing. People were saying that they really liked it and that they were like super excited for it. And so I had to check it out, and I did. And I thought it looked cool. Well, Bradley, that's the thing, right? So if J.K. Simmons is back as Gordon, does that mean Zack Snyder's Justice League could be canon? It's possible. J.K. Simmons, is in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Why not? But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, that's when he was last seen. So, would be nice. Would definitely be nice. Oops. Dad Dude Vince says, I love the Uncharted games. Thomas Bartholdi says, I'd love to see another Mummy movie. DC Talk with Extended says, I played all 4 games. Goober says, the Uncharted games are fun. Anthony Beltre says, Uncharted games are great. And Hunter Iggy says, I prefer the fan film of Uncharted. So I haven't seen that. Obviously. But so Sony Pictures releasing this Sony Pictures Releasing has unveiled the first trailer for game-turned-film Uncharted, starring Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. I guess for me, like, you know, a lot of these comic, or not comic book, but video game movies don't always turn out that well, and so we've kind of gotten like a steady uphill of the quality of these things. And so to land somebody like Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg for this, I think is definitely a good thing. It says Ruben Fleischer's adventure-ridden blockbuster co-starring Sophia Ali, Tati Gabrielle, and Antonio Banderas. Unspools in February. Fortune favors the bold. Watch the first official trailer here. So let's. I'm not going to actually do this, but just kind of put it in here like this. I mean, there's just a bunch of, you know, they talk about a map, you know, and all this stuff. Here's the part that was interesting to me. I thought the whole thing looked pretty cool. This part right here, this is an interesting stunt, if I'm being honest. It's going to go to, oh, there it is. Where he's like literally held on. I mean, what do you do there? Can you imagine? Dang. I just don't know about this. You're going to... An airplane is literally flying through the air so fast. That's... Somebody's chasing you back up all that carrier stuff. I don't know. That's a little weird. And then this car comes out at him, hits him, falls out. Got to beware of cars falling from the sky. So I don't know. I mean, that stunt looks pretty cool, though. That all looks pretty cool. So, yeah. Hey, Spider-Man, say hi to your mother for me. Like, he could really use the Spider-Man powers about right then, I would think. Yeah, that looks interesting. Are you guys excited for that one? I know some people said that, you know, they're not too sure about the movie itself, but I know nothing about this, and honestly, just seeing what I saw out of this, it actually got me kind of hyped for it. I'll be honest with you. Oh, is that the plane sequence from the third game? Now, my question is, though, is it going to be one of those things that like works in a game, but not necessarily in like a real life thing? Damon here says Uncharted games are fantastic, especially the third one was a masterpiece. That scene was in the third game. It's been done. I'm not sure about the film just yet. Yeah, Enosh not bashing the movie. I know, right? No, I look because I'm not that type. Like, I'll just tell you what I think of the movie. Like, if I see something that I don't like, I'll just tell you. And actually, this actually looked really. This looked interesting. Watching this trailer actually made me kind of like, I want to know more about that. You know, and that's what a trailer should do. A trailer should spark you to want to watch more, to want to see more. And that's what it looked like to me. That it was definitely something that looked like it was done well. It looks like it's going to have some cool stunts in it. And, you know, if you see somebody hanging off an airplane like that, or get hit off an airplane like that and falling, you want to know how do they get out of that. So, yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I want to know more about it. So, yeah, I don't typically hate on stuff just to hate on stuff. You know, it's typically like if I just see something that I don't like, I'll just say I don't like it. You know, but you know, I always try to be positive. Speaking of positive, so a couple of things here, just to finish this off. Obviously, the unfortunate events surrounding Alec Baldwin and stuff that's been going on with on the production of Rust. This came out today from the Hollywood Reporter. Said Rust assistant director fired from previous film following prop gun discharge. This is interesting. More information has been coming out about this, and it's really sad, actually. I mean, they basically fired the crew that they had that was the union crew, And they brought in, apparently, from what I've been reading, they brought in another crew that was non-union. And that, for some people that's neither here nor there, but it doesn't sound like the people that they brought in were very serious about what they were doing. And I even saw some reports of the girl who handed him the gun had been target practicing with the gun. That's what I read, and that it's believed that there was a bullet still around in the gun. So I don't know. But it says after the incident on the 2019 set of Freedom's Path, Rust assistant director Dave Halls was removed from the set, says a producer. As assistant director, who is cited in a search warrant as having unknowingly given actor Alec Baldwin a loaded prop gun before a fatal shooting on the set of Rust was previously fired from another film following an incident involving a weapon, a producer confirmed to The Hollywood Reporter. The producer on the film Freedom's Path, who asked to remain anonymous, said that during production in 2019, a crew member incurred a minor and temporary injury when a gun was unexpectedly discharged. After the prop gun incident, Rust assistant director Dave Halls was removed from the set, after which production continued. Our condolences go out to everyone affected by the recent tragic event in New Mexico, the Freedom's Path producer said in a statement. CNN was the first to report the statement. The Hollywood Reporter has reached out to Halls for comment. According to search warrants from the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office, prior to the October 21st on-set shooting that killed Rust's cinematographer Helena Hutchins and injured director Joel Souza, Halls took one of 3 prop guns provided by production armorer Hannah Gutierrez Reed, and then handed Baldwin the weapon, yelling, "Cold gun," and indicating there were no live rounds inside. Hall was not aware there were live rounds loaded in the gun, and the warrant says. In the warrants, director, but I mean, you hand somebody a gun, you got to know what's going on with it. I mean, that's gun 101. I don't care if you are on the set of a movie, that even more so. In the warrants, Director Souza provides a statement that says the incident took place while Baldwin was practicing for a scene inside of a church in which his character cross draws a gun. Now, this is what I said when I first heard it, that this is what it sounded like. And it's been confirmed that this was a scene that was, going to be him holding the gun up. It was going to be a close-up of the gun kind of situation. This is it stated that Alex sitting in a pew in a church, interesting place, in a church building setting, and he was practicing a cross draw. Joel said as he was looking over the shoulder of Helena when he heard what sounded like a whip and then loud pop, according to the warrant. Camera operator Reed Russell said in a statement in the warrants that during a setup for rehearsal, Baldwin was explaining to Souza and Hutchins how he would draw out the weapon. Russell said he was not sure why the firearm was discharged and just remembered the loud bang. Russ has wrapped production until the law enforcement investigation is complete. Producers said in a letter obtained by the Hollywood Reporter and sent to crew on Sunday that the wrap was a pause rather than an end. Hutchins was remembered in a candlelight vigil hosted by International Cinematographers Guild 600 at the IATSE Local 80 headquarters on Sunday night. We all stand together at this moment in grief and disbelief. And what we do with that will define us and define this moment. Local 600 National Executive Director Rebecca Ryan said during the program. So it appears that they are not going to, cancel the movie. They're at least not right now. But Stella, you're absolutely right. This is why IATSE is fighting for better work. Like it literally, this could not be more of a representation of why they were just going through all of this, then unfortunately for something like this to happen. And it's sad, right? It's really sad that this is where this has gone, that apparently mistakes were made. Your life isn't worth any entertainment industry production, and that's the thing. Nobody should nobody should have to worry about standing around on the set of a film. You know, people need to take this stuff seriously. And Jolly, you're absolutely right. Treat all guns as if they were loaded. You got to have a respect for guns. Look, I don't have, the gun debate is an interesting one, right? Because like it's like anything else. There are people who are on like extreme sides of everything, right? And I am not. I'm not on the extreme side of most things. So the thing is that with the gun debate, the most important thing is that you respect the weapon, no matter what. No matter what. If you have to deal with a weapon, you respect it. You treat it with that respect. You don't just haul off and, willy-nilly point guns around or do things like that because you just don't know. So many accidents happen that are based off of the fact that people take it for granted that something isn't loaded or whatever. And you do that, and then you can't take it back. I'm sure Alec would love to be able to take back what is going on now. And the other questions are whether or not or how he can be held responsible for this. Not only just as the person who shot the gun. Now, obviously, they handed it to him. They'd have to prove, quite a few things with that. But then also, there's been all this talk about how, corners were cut, decisions were made, and he is the main producer on the movie. So you'd have to be privy to those decisions and those choices about who took these jobs and who did this and when they let the staff go, when they let the crew go, and they brought in it appears scab crew, like, how was that decision made, right? But you're right, Gary. Like we do have to understand that yes, there are things every day. Like if you're in the car, take it seriously, right? But a gun is one of those things, like, that I've shot guns. I love shooting guns. To go in target practicing, man, is a lot of fun, right? And personally, I don't have any problem with people being able to defend themselves. People do take that a bit far sometimes, but like I said, that's life. People take, there's a lot of things people take too far. But yeah, you're right, Stella. I mean, Baldwin is a producer on this movie, so he is highly liable, unfortunately, and it'll be interesting to see where this goes. So we'll keep an eye on it. And like I said before, we're talking about this because it's something that's part of entertainment news right now. We're not ambulance chasing with this story, whatever. This is a small little segment. This is what's going on with this. It's something that we need to be aware of. It's something that we need to pay attention to and understand what's going on. Right. And, and so that's why we report on it. I know there's some people who like to find a story like that and then they just, oh man, you're going to get 24-hour coverage of this. Like we'll do 5 videos a day. Right. And, it is. That's not what we're doing. And then finally tonight, another story that broke last week, right, is the Ruby Rose story. And so that has continued. And I think there's even another update after this, but I don't have it because I think that they actually shot back after this. But Ruby Rose begins releasing emails supporting her Batwoman allegations. Now, they went back and forth. Ruby Rose came out last week, reporting that there was, some misconduct on the part of those in charge of the Batwoman show, and that they were worked long, hard hours, that, she was injured, that they didn't allow her to heal. They called her back to work right away, only 10 days after her surgery. It's interesting. It says former Batwoman actor Ruby Rose begins sharing messages and emails to support her allegations about hazardous on-set conditions and demands. Actor Ruby Rose began releasing emails and messages to support her allegations about dangerous set conditions during her time at the CW's Batwoman. On Instagram, Rose shared emails between herself and talent manager Carol Bodie regarding how Rose was so close to being done with the show in February 2020. The series of images began with Rose stating that she won't take crumbs and demanding better from the industry. So here we have this. Says, honestly, Carol was the title. It says, this reminds me of a Karen. Honestly, Karen. Come on, Karen. Come on. Oops. Oh, there we go. Okay. It says, honestly, Carol, I'm so close to being done with this show. Between the atmosphere, the BS, the investigation, surgery, I'm really about to walk. Sent from my bat phone like that. It says here, I won't take crumbs, do better, use the situation as a way to change the industry and the world, but keep up the smear campaign because it only fires me up to continue this when that's the last thing I wanted. And so that's what she posted over that. Carol wrote back, I'm so sorry this is, and then kind of cuts off right there. But this is what Ruby put, I don't take crumbs, do better, use the situation as a way to change the industry and the world, but keep up the smear campaign because it only fires me up. Because it's the last thing I wanted. And then just put here, TikTok. Says same. I meant walk today until I can get my breath and have a talk with SAG, Screen Actors Guild, and or Greg, meaning Greg Berlanti, who's in charge of all the CW productions, and just everyone except maybe Caroline to work this whole thing out. I don't know about walking from the show for good. Maybe I want to, but I fear huge consequences. This isn't even the report, but reminding you I'm still here and you have an opportunity to change things. Like she's telling them, like, I brought this up. I made a point. You guys need to change things. As I said the other day, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I don't know things. I don't know anything for sure about what happened, about what didn't happen, right? We can't know. But these are the types of things that I was saying, I'm going to wait and see how this plays out, see what more information comes out, right? And so that's where I'm at with this. That the more information that comes out, I think we can make good observations, and we can see what kind of things are going around. Yep, that dude Vince, you're absolutely right. It was Shark Attack 3 Megalodon. You're right. You're absolutely right. That's where those shark clips are from. And heck yeah, I stand with Ray Fisher. By the way, Ray messaged me, and as soon as he's back out doing some more rounds, he's going to be back here at the lounge. So we have that to look forward to. Everybody's been asking me, when are we going to see Ray again? When are we going to see Ray again? He'll be coming back. So stay tuned, because we'll definitely have Ray back soon. So then it says, though he was called out by Rose previously, the actor wrote, I actually like Greg Berlanti. I still want to believe he has a human side. So this is hard, but again, not in the report, because the report is, wow, way too intense to have to release. Rose also claimed that her work ethic was never questioned until she was injured and walked and stayed and was fired. So she claims that, that her work ethic was never called into question. It was never called into question until after she was injured, she walked away and then came back and then walked away again. So I just don't know. I don't know. I'm keeping my eye to this one because it's interesting. So she put here, this is Greg Berlanti to Ruby. So this is from Greg to Ruby. It says, thank you. You're gorgeous, Orchid. You are so thoughtful, but the real gift is your amazing performance and hard work. Very thankful for your talent and kindness. Have an amazing time off, and congrats on such a wonderful success this year. XO Greg. Does that sound like she's hard to work with? No. It doesn't sound like it, does it? Again, Greg could have had a different experience with her. We don't know. And then she goes back to this font. Stop with this font. But this is what she was saying up here. So that she says, I actually like Greg. I still want to believe he has a human side. So this is hard. But again, not in the report, because the report is, wow, way too intense to have to release. Rose also claimed that her work ethic was never called into question. So shifting her focus back to showrunner Carolyn Dries, Rose wrote that she was deciding between releasing Carolyn Dries' email about not being an LGBT activist or feminist, alleging that the showrunner was monetizing gays and how she found the desire to make people feel included. Rose also shared an email she sent to Dries with a request that there would be no yelling on set to keep morale up and prevent people on set from losing their temper and getting aggressive, with Rose feeling as though she had to be the comedic relief to keep the situation at a workable level. A response included by Dries had the showrunner saying, "People need some coping skills," and that it sounded as though the situation was a reaction to stress, time crunch, asking for director Holly Dale's advice on dealing with the issue. Rose noted in her post that Dale was not directing the episode where the behavior was being experienced while shooting. So this is something we've talked about, this idea of monetizing gays, or, monetizing that concept. We just talked about it with, with even, DC Comics. And what they're doing right now with Jonathan Kent. We talked about Jonathan Kent earlier, but we talked about this. We talked about it with panels of people, from those sexual orientations and what they feel and what they think. And it's a very interesting and hot button issue right now. Are these companies literally, caring about the ethical treatment of people? And people being shown their rights and whatnot, or are they trying to monetize towards certain demographics because they know if they do this, that if they put this stuff out there, well, people will watch it, or people will pay attention, or it will get them, exposure, right? Get it out in front of more people. It's interesting to see her actually bring it up. She then says, off to bed, but decided between releasing Carolyn's email about not being an LGBT activist or feminist. So there's more down here. It says, i.e. monetizing gays is how she found the desire to make people feel included, or the email exchanges when I did leave, that the truths in that from all three of them. Let me give them time to act privately, which is all I wanted. Mediation, not litigation. She's like, I'm not trying to litigate against anybody. I'm not trying to cause anybody problems. I just want change. That's noble. She's not even on the show right now, and she just wants change. She just wants people to act appropriately. She says, appropriately. I want to give them time to act privately, which is all I wanted. Mediation, not litigation. Appropriately, which should be fast, considering when I went to hire a litigation lawyer, Greg had hired them all. That's interesting. That she went to try to hire a litigation lawyer, and Greg had already hired them all. Everyone she reached out to. Ruby, she goes, copy that. I love my crew. They just can't speak out because of NDAs. She goes, also, last night on set was absolutely catastrophic. I don't know if it's Dermot or what or who or how, but people were yelling at each other and walking off set, and it was so stressful. Eddie was like a piece of Scotch tape on the side of the Titanic. This might sound like a very strange ask, but is there a way to have a no yelling at crew or production or anyone rule on set? Just a no yelling rule. That's a Joe Roth rule on his films, just to keep the love and patience up, the morale up. It's stressful and hard enough on the crew and actors pulling all-nighters and 16-hour days and 14-hour cinema days or camera days without people losing their temper and getting aggressive. I felt like I had to be the comedic relief for cast and crew and camera and the whole room, which is fine. But I too am tired, and it just makes all our jobs a little harder. Sent from my bat phone. This is an actress pulling all night. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, that was the end of that. So then here she says, also as a showrunner who I went to about a no yelling memo and then offload it to a director who wasn't even directing that episode. Also, a PA got a concussion that day, and an extra got hit in the head with a crane. Jerry told me about that. I'm relieved to hear you found a way to keep some comic relief. I think that's supposed to be comic relief because usually it's the number one doing the yelling. This is interesting. This is interesting because they've all been saying that it's her who's been doing these things. That it's her who's been yelling, her who's been causing problems, her who's been doing all these things. But yet it says here, I'm relieved to hear that you found some comic relief to it, because usually it's the number one yelling, doing the yelling. Yelling at crew is unnecessary times 100. I have never had to raise my voice at work once in my career. People need some coping skills. See, there's some people who just lived a life of drama, and they constantly live in it. I know people who they can't go hardly any time at all without yelling at somebody. Right? Without getting frustrated and having to hear their voice above everyone else's. So this is interesting. It says, Holly, how do you feel with this? From what I gleaned, it was Dermot and a reaction to stress, time crunch. So it says Rose then showed a screenshot of what appears to be a conversation with Luke Fox, actor Camrus Johnson, seen on screen as Cam from June 2019, where she told him about how she was expected to shoot 2 covers that week, but there was just not a chance in hell she could wear the suit, including a photo showing the aftermath of her neck injury, saying, gonna have a 6 scar, LOL. I got one myself. That's real life. I showed it the other night. The other party said that they were glad Rose turned them down for the shoot, though in the next post, Rose stated that she did the cover shoot anyways, implying that she did not have a choice and would reveal more on that tomorrow. Johnson previously alleged that Rose's initial claims consisted of a lot of lies. But this is interesting. It says Ellie was an actual PA. The person in that article isn't on one call sheet. I checked 3 months worth. Warren walked off set. Also, I knew about Elsie. I kept trying to get her to get help, and she wouldn't. It was bad. Carolyn sent me an email, and I haven't responded yet because I feel like I need to really say my piece. This is awful. Also, traffic, so horrific. I'm going to be late. I'm stressing. To heal perfect. Oh, here's her neck here. To heal perfectly and not have issues later. They wanted me to shoot 2 covers this week, but there was just not a chance in hell I could get into that suit and not absolutely crash. So hopefully it will all work out. The sickest scar, LOL. As I was reading the covers part, I went, oh, nah, out loud. So I'm glad you turned them down for now. That crap would have sucked. Exactly right. Heal up right way, and we'll be back to playing in no time. Dope. And she goes, P.S. I still shot those 2 covers. Jeez. How silly to think I had an option. More on that tomorrow. Didn't do it for me. I didn't need them. I'd already shot the previous EW cover, but 6 days after surgery was when they wanted me to shoot. Oft, those emails are heartbreaking, but say a lot. So, yeah, I mean, they've gone back after her, tried to accuse her of things. Man, there's just so much more here. We must do a call next week with WB. It's under immense pressure from the stunt crew. Otherwise, there will be litigation. Peter Roth is checking your work schedule for work week to see when we can be scheduled. She goes, why I'm not suing them? I mean, the stunt crew are a bunch of effing idiots. It's just because of the main guy's dad. Just wait until the busiest time of the season, crossovers, to investigate my injury, only to threaten me the whole time. I spent a week getting zero sleep, collecting all the x-rays, emails, professional opinions, only for my team later to be told that they have decided to end the investigation before the PI finalizes the report and will not share the outcome. My surgery was the 18th of June. Just got emails here backing that up. Says they wanted me to shoot 2 covers starting on the 24th, 5 days after surgery, and 1,000 emails a day, every day after my surgery to do with work. There was not one day of downtime. I declined, and they told me the whole Arrowverse would be affected because just like the year before, without me, they would lose the whole cover for the cast and shot. Like I said. So they'll be able to get it together to shoot the crossover. By this Sunday, good news. They will give us a cover for your Batwoman launch. So they wouldn't fly a photographer to Vancouver to not lose this cover for the leads of all the Arrowverse shows, but made me fly back to LA when I said I couldn't wear the costume yet. They agreed. Then later said, you have to. Everyone else did. This is all in the first weeks of surgery. Man. More of this, how they just treated her and forced her to do things. Because people knew everywhere. So Danica Smith, others. It's interesting. Just thing after thing after thing after thing. I mean, she just dropped all of this stuff, man. She goes, because the incision opened wound through my throat to do spinal surgery. Atmosphere, the chemicals, the fog at the time would close my throat up entirely. So safety guy from WB comes and it turns out we don't even have the simple machine or airflow or follow any of the atmosphere, fog, sag rules. Well, dang. And then here's Shane Rogers, Warner Brothers Director of Production Safety, says, I'm afraid I got called away. I was feeling that we had established a clear, safe level at the Batcave, but if you're concerned, I'm absolutely happy to keep checking as you see fit. The monitor is on its way and may even end up set up by now. Apologies, I can't be there in person, but SPFX knows how to use it. And there's just more, just email after email after email after email after email. It'll be interesting to see. I think that there was some movement already on it today, but I'm not sure. This is the same thing. This is the same thing like they did to Ray Fisher. They literally, just like the word more incorrectly my entire life. I get it. But the thing is though, is like I said, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I was just reading here. SK says, Poindexter Lounge now plays 3 times a day. Does this mean Enosh finally found a new full-time job? I'd love for this to be my full-time job. That'd be awesome, coming to you guys every day like this. But I mean, look, the thing about this is that like she came forward, they shot back. She comes forward with even more stuff. They shoot back. But my gosh, this is a lot of stuff here. You know what I mean? And like, I could just read it all to you, but I mean, this is a lot of stuff. You can find this, on her social media accounts if you really want to read through it all. And I look, that's why I'm saying this stuff. That's why I'm talking about this stuff, because it's a lot here. And there's a lot of people who are just dismissing her. Like they just wanted to dismiss her. They just wanted her to just go away. They just wanted to just see her go away, do her thing, not be a thing. And she's not just going away. She doubled down. She's like, you got a problem? I'll release the emails. And of course, there are people like, you released the emails. That's not right. Like, I don't know when it's not right to tell the truth and release the truth. And it looks like there's a lot of truth there, if you're asking me. It looks like she's sharing a lot of truth there that people probably don't want out, you know. But I mean, time will tell. Time will tell exactly how this pans out and who's lying, who's telling the truth. I'll be honest with you, at this point, even though I'm not, you know, specifically aware of exactly who's right and who's wrong, I'm looking at what she's showing, and she's not afraid. Look, that's one of the things, man. I give it to I give it to Ray Fisher, because Ray has not changed his tune. Ray has stuck to his guns. He came forward with this stuff. He said this stuff. He put it out there. Warner Brothers has some issues. One way or the other, Warner Brothers has some issues going on, right? Because one, if things are happening, you know, that are affecting these things, man, the regime has to change. The regime has to change, and I'm hoping that when Discovery comes in, that not only on the movie side that it changes, but also like all across the board, not just for the superhero stuff, but like in all the productions in general, that people are taken care of, that people are safe. Look, I love being entertained. I love movies. I love TV shows. I love these things, but I want people to be safe as well, above all else, right? And that's, you know, that's what Ray was talking about when he said that entertainment, or that accountability is greater than entertainment, right? And so we stand with Ray Fisher. At this point, I'm looking at what she's doing. I'm saying that seems to make a lot of sense right now. You know, I'm still keeping an eye on it. I'm still watching. But I don't know what at this point. I mean, it's not like she's going to get that job back, right? So I mean, like, so, you know, what's her end game? Get the truth out. And like I said before, people come and say, well, why is she doing this now? I said this a couple of days ago, because people have to heal. People have to have time to regroup. Anytime that there's trauma, that there's these kind of things, you have to have time to regroup. It's not as simple as just going, oh, well, you know, I'm just going to go out and attack everybody and go after all these things. So it's interesting. It's interesting. But hey, what do you guys think? Right? What do you guys think? If you're watching this on the replay, let me know down in the comment section what you think of these stories that we talked about tonight. And thank you guys to everybody who hung out with me tonight for a while, for a couple of hours. We got through everything that I had tonight. And I just like hanging out with you guys. I like talking about stuff. I like talking about pop culture and entertainment news, as it were. All right. So don't forget, new giveaway, Black Suit Superman, courtesy of Mark at Benson's Emporium. So if you would like a chance to win this, all you got to do is be a patron, be a member, or give in a super chat or any other way. That is all down in the description below of this video. All right. So thank you guys for being with me today, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm sure we'll be out and about doing some nerd encouragement tomorrow. I got some meetings tomorrow morning that I got to get to and do some things. So keep me in your thoughts and prayers. Appreciate it. And sometimes it's good to kind of sit back and just kind of have a chill night like tonight, where we just like talk about stuff and hear from each other and talk to each other. And Stella, hey, it was so good to see you back, Stella. We've missed you around here. So yes, great to see you back. And it's always great to see each and every one of you. So thank you guys for the love. Appreciate y'all, and appreciate you guys supporting the lounge. So like I always say, don't let anybody tell you that your fandom doesn't matter. Don't tell anybody that their fandom doesn't matter, but seek to have good conversations. Seek the truth in all things, not just the entertainment, not just the stuff that you like and the fun stuff, but seek the truth. And if you do that, you treat people with respect, there'll always be a place here in the Poindexter Lounge for you. All right, guys, till next time, stay nerdy. Bye-bye.